Hey there, coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters. Imagine this, you're rummaging through a jar of old nickels, and suddenly, you spot something ordinary, a 1978 Jefferson nickel. But here's the kicker, that seemingly ordinary coin could be worth a jaw-dropping $3 million. Yep, you heard that right. Today, we're diving into the world of the 1978 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel. Why is it worth so much? Could you be sitting on a fortune and not even know it? Let's find out. Now, first things first, what's the deal with the no-mint mark? If you're new to coin collecting, the mint mark tells you where the coin was made. Most Jefferson nickels from 1978 have either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But if there's no mint mark, it means it was minted in Philadelphia. Usually, that's no big deal. But with this specific coin, the stars align. So, why is this coin so valuable? Well, rumor has it, a small batch of these nickels was struck with a highly unusual die, and only a handful were ever released into circulation. Think of it like a printing error on a rare baseball card. These quirks make collectors absolutely lose their minds. But hold on, don't go flipping over your couch cushions just yet. The value isn't just about the lack of a mint mark, it's also about condition. Here's a little coin lingo for you, mint state. That's collector speak for coins that look like they just rolled out of the mint, shiny and perfect. The closer your coin is to mint state, the higher its value. And let me tell you, one lucky collector struck gold when they found a pristine 1978 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel. It sold for, wait for it, $3 million at auction. Can you imagine? That's like finding a winning lottery ticket in your pocket change. Quick story time, I once found a 1978 nickel in my car's cup holder. For a split second, my heart skipped a beat. Was this the one? I grabbed my magnifying glass, and let's just say, nope. It was scratched up and looked like it had been to more places than I have. But hey, it's stories like these that keep the thrill alive, right? Now, here's the $1 million, or should I say $3 million, question. How do you know if your nickel is worth a fortune? First, check for that no mint mark. Then, examine its condition. If it looks clean and shiny, it's time to call in the experts. A professional coin grader can give you the lowdown on its value. And who knows? Maybe you'll be the next millionaire with a story to tell. Alright, folks, there you have it. The humble 1978 Jefferson nickel could be your golden ticket. So, the next time you're counting change, don't overlook those nickels. You might just be holding on to a piece of history, and a whole lot of cash. Let me ask you something, have you ever checked your pocket change and thought, what if one of these coins is worth a fortune? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving into the wild and unexpectedly rich world of the 1987 Mint Jefferson nickel. Yes, a nickel. You heard me right. This seemingly ordinary coin could fetch a jaw-dropping $2.8 million on the current market. So, stick around because by the end of this video, you might just feel inspired to raid your change jar. Who knows? You might already have a fortune lying around. First off, what makes this 1987 Jefferson nickel so special? I mean, it's not made of gold, it doesn't have diamonds encrusted on it, and it doesn't smell like freshly baked cookies, unfortunately. It's just a nickel. But here's the thing, not all nickels are created equal. Back in 1987, the Philadelphia Mint churned out millions of these nickels. But every now and then, something goes haywire during the minting process. Maybe the machinery had a bad day, or someone spilled their coffee near the die press. Whatever the reason, a few coins came out looking, well, a little unique. These mint errors are what makes certain coins highly valuable. For the 1987 nickel, there's a specific variety known as a full steps error. This refers to the number of steps visible on Monticello's design on the coin's reverse. A perfect strike shows all 6 steps clearly, and trust me, finding a flawless example is like spotting a unicorn in your backyard, juggling flaming bowling pins. Now, here's where it gets crazy. in pristine, uncirculated condition. One of these rare 1987 P nickels recently sold at auction for $2.8 million. That's right. Someone essentially turned 5 cents into a luxury mansion with a pool, a garage full of sports cars, and maybe even a pet tiger, because why not? Let me tell you about my own little nickel adventure. A few months ago, I decided to rummage through an old coin jar that had been collecting dust under my bed. I'm talking coins from road trips, laundromats, and that one time I swore off credit cards for a week. As I sifted through the pile, I found an old nickel and thought, could this be the jackpot? Spoiler alert, it wasn't. It was just a 2001 nickel with a weird scratch on it. But the experience got me thinking, what if I had found a valuable one? That's why I'm here, so you don't miss out on the treasure hiding in plain sight. Now, if you're wondering how to spot one of these $1 million nickels, here's what to do. First, grab a magnifying glass or a loupe, something that makes you look like a fancy detective. Check the coin's condition. Is it shiny? Does it have minimal wear? Look closely at the steps on the Monticello design. If you can see all 6 steps perfectly, you might be onto something big. Oh, and a pro tip, don't clean the coin. I know it's tempting, but cleaning can actually decrease its value. Coin collectors love their coins with all the original flaws and character intact. So, there you have it, the incredible story of how a humble 1987 P. Jefferson nickel could be worth millions. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just someone curious about the change in your pocket, it never hurts to take a closer look. Who knows? Your next coffee run might be funded by a 5-cent piece worth millions. You're digging through your couch cushions, looking for spare change to grab a coffee, and bam! You stumble upon a nickel. But not just any nickel. What if I told you that this little coin could be worth more than a mansion, $2.6 million to be exact? Crazy, right? Well, stick around, because today we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1993 P. Jefferson nickel. Could you be sitting on a gold mine? Let's find out. Alright, before you start raiding your piggy bank, let's get to know the star of today's show, the 1993 P. Jefferson nickel. This coin features Thomas Jefferson on the front, you know, that guy from history class who rocked the Declaration of Independence, and his famous home, Monticello, on the back. But what makes this nickel so special? Here's the kicker, it's all about the condition and minting errors. A standard 1993 P nickel is worth, well, 5 cents. But, a rare error coin, in mint condition, with the full steps designation, that's where the jackpot is. Those full steps refer to the tiny steps on Monticello. They've got to be sharp and complete under magnification. Think of it like finding a 4-leaf clover but way more profitable. A couple years ago, I was helping my aunt clean out her attic. She had this dusty jar of old coins, and I jokingly said, "What if there's $1 million coin in here?" We laughed, but then I spotted a 1993 P nickel. My heart skipped a beat. Spoiler alert, it wasn't worth millions, but it did teach me the importance of checking my change. Now, I'm that person who holds up the line squinting at coins. And you should be too. So, why $2.6 million? In 2019, a near-perfect 1993 P nickel with full steps sold for a jaw-dropping $2.6 million at auction. That's because collectors are willing to pay top dollar for rarity and perfection. And guess what? There could still be more out there. Your nickel might just be the next superstar. Cue the dramatic music. Here's what to do. First, check for that P mint mark on the front of the coin, right next to Jefferson. Second, examine the steps on Monticello with a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Are they crisp and unbroken? If yes, congratulations. You've got a contender. And third, get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. They'll give it an official rating, which is basically like giving your coin a diploma. The higher the grade, the higher the value. And hey, Don't go polishing your nickel like you're trying to make it prom queen. Cleaning it can actually lower its value. Just let it be its shiny, natural self. Think of it as vintage charm. You're hoping to find enough change for a vending machine snack. But instead, you find a nickel worth $2.5 million. Yep, you heard me right, million with an M. Today, we're diving into the incredible story of the 1995 Mint Mark Jefferson Nickel and why it's worth enough to buy a mansion or, let's be real, an absurd amount of tacos. So, stick around. You don't want to miss this. Let's talk about the basics first. The 1995 Jefferson Nickel was minted in Philadelphia, hence the P Mint mark. It looks like your average nickel, Thomas Jefferson on the front, Monticello on the back. Nothing flashy, right? But here's the kicker, only a handful of these bad boys have a minting error so rare, collectors will practically throw their wallets at you. What's the error, you ask? Well, it's in the strike, the way the coin was stamped during production. A tiny mistake makes this coin a unicorn in the coin collecting world. The exact details are super technical, and kind of boring, but let's just say the error was enough to catapult its value into the stratosphere. And guess what? The most recent one sold for $2.5 million. Yep, this tiny piece of metal is worth more than most people's dream homes. Now, let me tell you a little story. A couple of years ago, I decided to finally organize my coin jar. I dumped the whole thing onto the table and started sorting, hoping to find something cool. Spoiler alert, I didn't find the $1 million nickel. But I did find one from 1995. I was so excited, until I realized mine didn't have the error. Just a plain old nickel worth 5 cents. Womp womp. But that's okay. It taught me the importance of looking closely. Every coin has a story, and who knows? Maybe the next one I find will be a jackpot. Here's the thing, though, you don't need to be a professional coin collector to spot something valuable. You just need a little patience, a good magnifying glass, and some basic knowledge, like what I'm giving you right now. So, how do you know if you have the $2.5 million nickel? Look for the following: the P Mint mark on the front, right by Thomas Jefferson's portrait. A sharp strike error, usually visible around the details of Monticello or Jefferson's profile. Check the condition. Even if it's rare, scratches can lower the value. If you've got something that matches up, congratulations, you might be holding a fortune in your hands. But don't run to the nearest pawn shop just yet. You'll want to get it authenticated by a professional coin grading service first. Trust me, it's worth the effort. Alright, folks, here's the bottom line. That nickel sitting in your piggy bank or couch cushions might just be worth a life-changing amount of money. But you'll never know unless you check. And hey, even if you don't strike it rich, coin hunting is just plain fun. Plus, you'll finally get that coin jar organized. Ever feel like your spare change might just be more valuable than what it's worth at the vending machine? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving into a jaw-dropping story about a tiny little coin with a massive price tag, the 1998 Jefferson Nickel. Yep, you heard that right. This unassuming nickel could be worth a staggering $2.4 million. I mean, who needs Powerball when your couch cushions might be hiding the jackpot, am I right? Stick around, because I'll spill the tea on why this coin is so valuable, how you can spot one, and what makes this nickel a rock star in the coin collecting world. Plus, I've got a little story about how I almost overlooked a coin worth some serious cash. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. What's so special about the 1998 Jefferson Nickel? First off, the D stands for Denver, where this coin was minted. Now, here's the kicker, it's not just any 1998 nickel that's worth millions. This specific coin has a unique flaw, a minting error, that makes it incredibly rare. The error is known as a double die reverse, meaning part of the design on the back of the coin was stamped twice. Think of it like a printing mistake, but way cooler, and way more profitable. Now, here's where it gets crazy. Only a handful of these error nickels were made before the mistake was caught, and even fewer have been found in mint condition. That's what makes them worth so much. Coin collectors go absolutely bananas for rare errors like this. They're basically the holy grail of the coin world. So, how do you know if you've got one? Take a close look at the back of your 1998 D nickel, specifically at the words Monticello and 5 cents. If the lettering looks a little blurry or doubled, you might just have hit the jackpot. And by a little blurry, I don't mean the kind of blurry you get after a long night binge-watching Netflix. This is a very specific doubling that coin experts can spot in a heartbeat. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my car, you know, that once-a-year event where you find enough loose change to buy a coffee. Well, I came across this old nickel and thought, that's weird. Why does this one look a little funky? But instead of checking it out, I tossed it into my change jar like it was nothing. Fast forward to a month later, and I saw an article about this exact coin being worth millions. Millions, people. I don't even want to think about what happened to that nickel, but let's just say someone else might be sitting on a pile of cash right now because of my lack of curiosity. Now, the current market value for one of these rare beauties is around $2.4 million. To put that in perspective, that's like buying a Lamborghini, a mansion, or an absurd amount of avocado toast. All from a single nickel. Of course, you'll want to get your coin professionally appraised if you think you've got one, because, let's be real, the last thing you want is to sell it at a garage sale for 50 cents. Alright, folks, the moral of the story is this: check your change. That boring nickel at the bottom of your purse or your car cup holder could be the golden ticket to financial freedom. And even if you don't strike it rich, you'll at least gain a newfound appreciation for all the little treasures hiding in plain sight. Well, let me introduce you to the legendary 2000 P. Jefferson Nickel with a little twist. This bad boy recently sold for $2.2 million. Yes, million. For a nickel. I bet you're already eyeing that dusty jar of coins on your dresser. Hold tight, we're about to dive into why this tiny coin is such a big deal and how you might just hit the jackpot with your change. What makes this nickel worth more than my house? The 2000 P. Jefferson Nickel isn't your average coin. It's a rare mule error, which means it was struck using mismatched dies. In this case, it has the obverse, or front, of a Jefferson nickel but the reverse of a Sacagawea dollar. Whoops! This mint mistake created a one-of-a-kind coin that collectors are absolutely drooling over. Now, I know what you're thinking: why didn't I get this lucky? Trust me, I've been there. I once spent hours going through my spare change after hearing about a rare penny worth thousands. Spoiler alert, I didn't find it. But hey, it was great cardio for my fingers. Here's why this coin is so special: the US Mint usually catches errors like this before they make it into circulation. But this one? It slipped through the cracks like a sneaky ninja. And because there's only one known to exist, it's become the holy grail of coin collecting. When it went up for auction, collectors went wild, and it sold for a whopping $2.20 million. Okay, but how do you know if you've got a jackpot nickel sitting in your coin jar? Here's the deal: look for a 2000 P. Jefferson Nickel. Flip it over. If the back looks like a Sacagawea dollar instead of Monticello, you're in business. But don't freak out and spend it on a vending machine Snickers bar, okay? That's a rookie mistake, and don't be discouraged if you don't find this specific coin. There are plenty of other valuable coins out there. A 1943 steel penny, a double-die Lincoln penny, even a state quarter with errors, these can all be worth big bucks. Keep an eye out for anything unusual, like off-center strikes, doubling, or weird colors. So, what's the takeaway here? The next time you're about to dump your coins into one of those supermarket machines, stop and think: could there be treasure in my change? And hey, even if you don't find a $2.2 million nickel, who knows? You might discover something else that's rare and valuable. Ever felt like you're just one lucky find away from striking it rich? Picture this: you're digging through that jar of loose change, the one that's probably older than your pet dog, and bam! You stumble upon a nickel. yes, a humble nickel, and find out it's worth a jaw-dropping $2 million. What? Yep, that's the reality of the 2006 D Mint Mark Jefferson Nickel. And today, we're diving into why this little guy is making millionaires, how you can spot one, and what makes it so ridiculously valuable. Oh, and stick around, I've got a funny story about my own accidental treasure hunt. Spoiler alert, it involves a gas station burrito and a twist I never saw coming. Let's get into it. Alright, here's the scoop. This nickel isn't just any 5-cent piece. First of all, the D stands for Denver Mint, where this coin was struck. But not all 2006 D nickels are special. The one we're talking about? It's a unicorn. The coin's value skyrocketed because of a super rare minting error, an incredibly subtle imperfection that coin collectors go absolutely bananas for. Think of it like those rare misprinted Pokemon cards everyone went wild over, except this is real money. Literal jackpot vibes. Grab a magnifying glass and your sharpest eyes, because you're going on a treasure hunt. First, check for the D Mint mark on the right side, just below Jefferson's portrait. Then, look for unusual features, double die errors, off-center strikes, or any bizarre quirks. And let me tell you, these things are sneaky. My buddy once thought he found one, but turns out it was just ketchup smudged on the coin. Moral of the story, clean your change before inspecting it. Here's where it gets wild. The combination of rarity, error quality, and collector demand makes this nickel worth its weight in gold, and then some. It's like finding a diamond in your cereal box. These coins are the crown jewels of modern nickels, and their value has shot through the roof because of insane bidding wars between collectors. If you've got one, you're basically holding a tiny fortune in your palm. Just don't accidentally use it at a vending machine, I've seen that happen, and it's a tragedy. Okay, quick story time. A while back, I was at a gas station late at night, fumbling for change to buy, you guessed it, a questionable burrito. As I counted out my nickels, I noticed one looked different. Heart racing, I shoved it in my pocket instead of the machine. Long story short, I spent the next week obsessively researching it, convinced I'd hit the jackpot. Turns out, it wasn't the rare one, but hey, at least I didn't waste it on that burrito. Lesson learned, keep checking your change, you never know when your luck might strike. So, what's the takeaway here? Your loose change could be a literal goldmine. Next time you're cleaning out your couch cushions or raiding your car for quarters, take a good, hard look at those nickels. If you spot a 2006 D Jefferson nickel with a funky little flaw, congratulations, you could be holding a multi-million-dollar masterpiece. And if you don't find one, hey, at least you've got some gas money. Before you go, hit that subscribe button and join our coin hunting crew. I've got loads more tips, tricks, and treasure hunting stories coming your way. Let's turn those pennies into paychecks together. Oh, and don't forget to share this with your friends, who knows, one of you could be the next coin millionaire. Well, don't laugh because today, we're diving into the story of a 2010 D Jefferson nickel that's worth, wait for it, a jaw-dropping $1.9 million. Yep, a nickel worth more than a mansion in Beverly Hills. Stick around, because I'm going to tell you how to identify this coin, why it's so valuable, and share a little story about how I almost overlooked a valuable coin myself. You don't want to miss this one, it could literally change your life, or at least your wallet. The 2010 D Jefferson Nickel comes from the Denver Mint, that's what the D stands for. Most of these nickels are just ordinary coins jingling in your pocket. But this specific one? Oh, it's a unicorn. What makes it so special? A wild, once-in-a-lifetime minting error, the coin has a unique double die strike, which means part of the design looks like it's been stamped twice, kind of like a blurry photocopy. The error is subtle, but under magnification, you'll see doubling on Thomas Jefferson's face or on the text, especially the word liberty. Here's the kicker, these mint errors are super rare. And collectors? They go bananas for this kind of stuff. That's how one of these nickels fetched $1.9 million at auction. Imagine the bidding war for that. Now, let me tell you why this story hits close to home. A few years ago, I was going through my loose change, just casually organizing it for laundry money, and I found a penny that looked off. It had this weird little line through it. I almost tossed it aside, thinking it was damaged, but I decided to Google it. Turns out, it was a minor error coin worth a sweet $50. Okay, not $1.9 million, but still, free pizza for a week. The point is, you never know what you're holding until you look closely. So, before you dump your change jar at Coinstar, do yourself a favor and check for errors. Now back to the 2010 Jefferson Nickel. How can you check if you've hit the jackpot? Grab a magnifying glass or one of those jeweler's loupes. No, seriously, invest in one. Then, look at the coin's details. Any signs of doubling? Weird misalignments? If you're not sure, there are online coin forums and experts who'd love to take a peek, and here's the ultimate pro tip: if you think you found something special, get it professionally graded. A top-tier grading service, like PCGS or NGC, can authenticate the error and assign your coin a grade, which dramatically affects its value. A verified error coin is the difference between maybe worth something and definitely worth a lot of something. So there you have it. The 2010 Jefferson Nickel might just be the most exciting thing to come out of pocket change since ever. Who knew a little 5-cent coin could make millionaires out of lucky collectors? Now, I've got a challenge for you. When this video ends, go grab your coin jar, your wallet, or heck, even your car's cup holder, and start hunting. You might just find a piece of history worth a fortune. Do you ever look at your pocket change and think, what if one of these bad boys is worth a fortune? Well, today, I'm here to help you stop dreaming and start checking, because there's a 2021 Jefferson Nickel with a little D mint mark that's making a big splash, like $1.3 million big. Yeah, you heard that right. A nickel, just chilling in someone's wallet, turned into a jackpot. So stick around, and I'll tell you how to spot one, what makes it so valuable, and why you might want to start giving your coins a second look. Now, let's dive into the shiny, metallic world of nickels. First off, that little D mint mark on the 2021 Jefferson Nickel. It means the coin was minted in Denver. Most nickels from Denver are just, well, nickels. But this one? It's a whole different story. What makes it worth $1.3 million? It's a rare error coin. Somewhere along the production line, the machine decided to have a little oopsie moment. Maybe the die got worn out or misaligned. Think of it as the coin equivalent of hitting send on a typo-filled text message. And collectors? They love these quirky mistakes. The rarer the error, the higher the value. Here's a little story to bring this to life. A buddy of mine, let's call him Dave, is a total coin nerd. One day, he found a weird-looking nickel while paying for his morning coffee. The cashier probably thought he was crazy because Dave stared at that coin like it had just told him the meaning of life. Turns out, it was almost an error coin, but not quite. Still, Dave says it's why he's always digging through his change like he's on a treasure hunt. Okay, back to you. If you're wondering how to spot one of these 2021 Jefferson Nickels, here's what to do: look for something unusual. Maybe the design is a little off, the letters are funky, or there's a double strike. Anything that makes you say, huh, that's weird. Use a magnifying glass. Your eyes are good, but a magnifying glass. That's pro-level inspecting. And even if you don't find the $1 million coin, some regular 2021 nickels with minor errors are still worth a few $100. Not bad for 5 cents, right? So, what's the moral of the story here? Always check your change. Who knows? That nickel you just threw into the tip jar could be your ticket to a whole new life. But hey, if you don't find a rare coin, at least you'll have fun looking, and maybe even impress a cashier or two with your newfound coin knowledge. Bam! A 2022 Jefferson Nickel stares back at you. Little did you know, that little 5-cent coin might just have the potential to make you a millionaire. Yep, $1,000,000 for a nickel. I know, it sounds like the start of a bad infomercial, but stick around because we're diving into the fascinating story of this modern-day treasure hunt and why people are going crazy over this nickel. The 2022 Jefferson Nickel isn't your average pocket change, and no, it's not encrusted with diamonds or dipped in gold. The P stands for the Philadelphia Mint, where this coin was produced. What makes it special is the crazy high demand for flawless examples of this coin graded as MS-70. That's the absolute highest grade a coin can get. Now, for the uninitiated, MS-70 basically means this coin is as close to perfection as you can get. Like, not a single scratch, blemish, or ding. If it were a person, it'd be the Ryan Reynolds of nickels, totally flawless and worth swooning over. But here's the kicker, out of the millions of these coins produced, only a few have been certified as MS-70 by grading companies like NGC or PCGS. That rarity has collectors scrambling to get their hands on one, with some auctions pushing the value up to, you guessed it, $1 million. Now, before you start rating your change jar, let me tell you a quick story. A few months ago, I found myself at a garage sale, sifting through a dusty old jar of coins. It felt like a treasure hunt, except instead of a pirate map, I was armed with my smartphone and a lot of hope. I found a 2022 nickel and thought, could this be the one? Spoiler alert, it wasn't. But hey, I got a free lesson on how to spot key details, like sharp strikes, clean fields, and an all-around pristine finish. If you've got a 2022 nickel, you might be wondering, how do I know if it's worth grading? First, inspect it with a magnifying glass. If it looks like it just rolled off the mint press, it might be worth sending to a professional grading service. And trust me, a $30 grading fee is worth it when there's a chance your nickel could fetch 6 figures, or even that magical million. Even if your coin isn't MS-70, slightly lower grades like MS-68 or MS-69 can still bring in hundreds or thousands of dollars. Not bad for something you might have overlooked in your spare change, right? So, what's the takeaway here? Never underestimate the power of pocket change. That dusty old nickel in your drawer could be your ticket to a life-changing windfall, or at the very least, a great story to tell. And hey, even if you don't strike it rich, the thrill of the hunt is half the fun. Before you go rummaging through your couch cushions, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'll be here every week, sharing more tips on spotting coins worth big money and strategies to build your collection. Let's make collecting fun, and maybe even profitable. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting. Who knows? The next millionaire could be you.